So period 0 or week number 0. We know what the price is, the current spot price. So let's kind of fix that. Week number 1, I'm gonna basically apply this formula. But first, I'm gonna generate that random number. Norm as imp rand. It just happens to be negative 147. Anytime you actually recalculate the sheet, that number is going to change because it's a random number. Okay. As you can see in the formula, I'm multiplying that by sigma root of delta t, which I have right here. And I'm going to add 1 plus delta times delta t to that. You can think of that as 1 plus the percentage change we randomly generated, and we're going to multiply that with the previous week's price. And I'm going to make sure that these references are absolute. For the purpose of this exercise, I'm going to do this for 5 years, which means 52 times 5, which is 260. As I drag, I can see where it's going to stop. Let me freeze the panes. So I'm going to copy this formula from week 1 into all of the weeks. And if you look at it, the only thing that's changing is the starting price, and we're basically adding a new random number. Okay? So this is basically a path, a random path that is generated. Let me show it to you in a graph. This is basically a possible path given how much volatility and interest rate differentials. You know, if I wanted to see another path, I recalculate the sheet. Now it's a different path. Now it's a different path. We're gonna do these random realizations a large number of times, but for now, I want to calculate a few payoffs. So let's do a strike. Let's add a strike price. Let me see. Let me add a strike here, and let me open my swap file from last time. So I'm going to use that to determine what the strike should be. 112.85. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to make that black and white too. Now, there are certain things I want to calculate, because I want to show you what's the difference between buying an option on the average versus buying options on 5 different averages. Or I want to calculate the payoff for call option or put option, doesn't matter. I'm going to do call, but with a strike of 112.85 for expiration periods 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. I also want to calculate payoff to a 5-year Asian call. With the same strike. So let's go ahead and do those. Just to make life easy on me, let's do this. This is year 1 or week 52. Year 2, year 3. Let me so I'm gonna get the price from week 52. Year 2 is gonna be week 104. I could have done that with a VLOOKUP, but I'm not going to spend time on that. Year 3, week 156. Year 4, week 208. And year 5 is week 260. And 5-year average is average of all these weeks except year 0 or week 0. Let me make these, actually all of these have only 4 digits. That's going to make it easier to read. In this specific path, the exchange rate ended up being 109.46 1 year from now, 122 2 years, 116 3 years, 120 4 years, 121 5 years, but it averaged 117.58. Since I have those, I can calculate the payoffs. One year, 2 years, and 5 year Asian. That's not how you spell Asian. Since this is a call option, if at the end of 1 year, closing price is less than the strike, let me find my strike right there. Since it's a call option, it's worth 0. Otherwise, the difference between the two, it's basically B5 minus $H, $2. Or JB5, not B5, I'm sorry. So in this example, option ended up being worthless. Since I already have these, so in this specific realization, the 30-year European type option ended up in the money. So did 5-year, but the others ended up out of the money. Another realization, different numbers. I also need to calculate present value. So I need domestic interest rate.